This is
Coming to you from the heart of the Pacific, brought to you by Paulie by Design.
respected at all times.
Broadcasting from San Francisco, California, the city by the bay.
It's about to go down.
We shine on positive Pacific Islander role models every Sunday.
Party on a Sunday.
From 10 a.m. to noon, it's time for the iconic Faika Podcast with your hosts,
Listening to
Naki and Carl.
What's up, Neki?
What's up, Carl?
Season 5, episode 42. We got so many shows. We're always asking, and we got shows in the middle of the week, so we don't know what the numbers are. We know it's a little bit past halfway in the year. How do we know that? Is because of the jersey I'm wearing, that we're past halfway through the season, and the Giants still have the best record in baseball, and the media is still not talking about them. So today we'll probably talk a little bit about our first place Giants. We're going to talk about some birthday parties and induction into the Hall of Fame. A lot about the Olympics. Both Naki and I both have certain sides or perspectives of the Olympics. We're going to talk about Koviki talk. Talanoa Tuesday. They had Dr. Tai Fa'aleava on this week. And yeah, that's our show today. Naki, what's good?
Good morning. So, let's see. This week, Thursday was my daughter's birthday. She turned the big 3-0. Yes, I had her when I was 12. And we went to...
People doing the math out there.
Yes, if you're doing the math, I was 12 when I had her. She turned 30, and so we went to breakfast on her actual birthday. And then in, I think, San Bruno, Hashes and Brew.
Hashes and
Brew in San Bruno was really good. Good breakfast. And
sounds good.
They had this, I guess they serve alcohol in breakfast. That's what they mean by brew.
Like mimosas or straight up alcohol?
Yeah, mimosas and alcohol, like
Dang.
specialized drinks. And so the kids had some drinks, but they had, I don't know even know what it's called, but it was like rum and it was greenish. I don't know, but it was really good. And I took a sip of my son's, and it was scary because you can't taste the alcohol.
Wow.
So it's one of those
uh-ohs.
Right.
You know what always cracks me up is when I would travel for a living, I'd get to the airport at crazy o'clock for like a 6 o'clock flight. I'm completely want to be stress free, so I get there hours early. Mm-hmm. And there are people in the airports at 6 a.m. They're at the bar ordering, not like, I mean, I've drank early. It's like a, what is that one?
You have? Tell us about that.
I've drank early before. Sometimes it's from being up, so you just haven't gone to sleep yet. But those, what are those? They have the Worcestershire sauce in them.
I don't think I've had that.
Gosh, it's
Is it red?
It's red.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about. I can't
Bloody
remember.
Mary.
Bloody Mary. I've had Bloody Marys many times.
I've heard of those.
But man, yeah, just straight up. I took a Bud Light. It's like 6 o'clock in the morning.
Jeez.
And a couple times I see them with they're dressed like they're gonna go to work, like they're gonna fly and get off the plane because they're in a suit or they're they're wearing a tie. And I'm kind of thinking, I guess that's just not for me. Yeah. But yeah, so the place you went to, they served not just mimosas or
Everything.
champagne, open bar.
A full open bar that early. So they had a taste. Lena Manulelu was saying Bloody Mary. Bloody Marys are also good for hangovers.
Yes.
If you have a hangover the next day.
So I've heard.
Yes.
So I've heard.
Yeah, I've had a Bloody Mary the next day. Or a beer. Crack open a beer and just guzzle that down, and it's good for
I've had red beers. So just
What's
beer and
red?
V8. So you're like, it's
What is that called? That's a drink. Beer and tomato juice.
We call it red beer.
Lena, what is that called? Lena, Paul always drinks it. Anyway, Melody, good morning, Melody. She's checking in from East San Jose on Facebook. Good morning, sister. Thank you for tuning in. So we went to breakfast at Hashes and Brew, I believe it's called, in San Bruno. I had a really good breakfast. I had a steak breakfast burrito.
Ooh.
It was humongous. So of course I ate half.
That's the thing with the burritos now. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know. There's only place you get a regular sensible sized burrito is like Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Or Even
Taco Bell.
Well, I'm saying that's the only small burritos out there. You go to a restaurant,
yeah, it's
man, your
huge.
burrito is going to be like 4 pounds.
Right. So I ate half, and then I ate the other half later. So, Bloody Marys are good if you have a hangover the next day. So, and then Friday was my daughter-in-law, Kea. It's her birthday. So the two girls, it was their birthday this week. We're going to have lunch later on this afternoon to celebrate both of their birthdays.
Nice. What's the restaurant on deck today? Or do you have one?
Iron Cask Cafe.
Because,
and I'm selfish, but that I love their shrimp and grits.
Not your birthday.
I know, but but it's right here. It's convenient. So we're going there. Melody says, I was at McLaren last Sunday. What I see in Vegas stays in Vegas. That's right, girl. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Except for weight. If I gain weight in Vegas, it seems to follow me. It doesn't stay in Vegas.
Yeah. So we did that. And then yesterday, Mo and I hung out at home, and I tried the Terramana tequila by the Rock. Very good, very good. He has two brands. There's a Blanco, which is clear, and then there was another one, and I got the one that was a little brown. I can't even remember what it's called.
Is it that scary kind that the taste that you don't understand? Because usually tequila to me is like nasty.
Yeah.
But they have these really, probably because the only tequila that I've ever drank is like the bottom shelf stuff at a bar.
Oh.
But there's tequilas out there that like
fruity kind of.
Yeah, but there's some that are really that you don't know that I would drink and go, oh, okay, I'm glad I didn't know about this kind of stuff because it doesn't taste like what I consider tequila bad.
Yeah, it was good. It wasn't the one that we had in New Orleans. I thought it was Terramana that we had in New Orleans, but apparently it wasn't, because that one that we had, which I have to ask Joseph.
Is it I thought the name of the tequila that you guys were drinking was I thought it was called Shot.
Yeah. No, because the bottle looked totally it was nothing, but I just grabbed it so that we can try it. And so it was okay. It tasted like tequila. It wasn't as smooth as the one we had in New Orleans. So I got to ask Joseph about that. But it was okay.
I didn't have any in New Orleans, but I was watching everybody. Everybody tasted it and went, whoa, that's dangerous.
You can
end up drinking too much of that without even knowing it. Yeah.
So Melody says, Patron will change your mind. Will change your life, Melody. Patron will change your life. How about that? I tried like just a shot, and really I sipped it, and so it was okay. It was a lot better than the ones that I had before, like Jose Cuervo and Don Julio and those.
Well, they have good ends. There's upper levels of those brands. So, the only time I ever drank tequila was when I was drunk, and people would, because if I just beginning of the night, no way. Like, at the end of the night, alcohol tastes the same.
Right.
But, even Jose Cuervo and Don Julio, they have really good, different levels of their brand.
Yeah.
But tequila has always been like a pain. You drink it and you wrinkle your face up and it's horrible.
Yeah. I used to be a vodka person, and so, but that jacks me up. So, so I don't drink that anymore. It's Hayal Manuia. Our Maury is on her way to work. Good morning, Maury. Thank you for checking in on Facebook.
Good morning, Tammy.
Yeah, and so we did that yesterday, and then yesterday we went to Eco tonight. Eco's, he had a service. He passed away, a young man in the Bay Area. So Mo and I went to go pay our respects to his wife Meki and his mom, Lima, who I've known for a very long time. And so I got to see people that I hadn't seen in a long time, and which is sad about funerals is you see people that
young
you
man?
have. Yeah, young man. I think he was 43.
Wow.
Yeah. So I got to see Tino, who we had on our show this past Thursday.
AKA Skinny Man.
A skinny man. And so, but it was very well put together, kind of, because they separated, like all the chairs were like apart, and then they had it so where there was seats on the stage where we sat, where everybody was. I mean, me and Kay. So my sister Kay was there, and we sat together with her my Po'oi family. We sat together. So it was good to see her. But the sad thing is, the last time that I seen Kay was at another funeral. So it was, I was like, okay, we meet on Zoom every week, but physically seeing each other it was good. We were holding hands and hugging all over each other. And we took a million pictures, and we're like telling our kids, okay, take our picture. And they thought that group picture. So everybody started to come in, and we're like, no. No, you guys get away. We just want our pictures.
Who does that remind you of?
My mother. I know. I'm slowly turning into my mother, but I'm conscious about it.
It's okay if you know it.
Yeah, I'm conscious about it. So I'm like careful. Good morning. Tammy is tuning in from Oregon. Patron is meant to be sipped. At least that's what I tell my old self. I'm with you, because I was sipping tequila. I didn't take shots. I was it was like a shot size, but I was sipping it because freaking old now.
Good morning, Sergeant Major William Hines. Thank you for your service.
Good morning.
I don't think he's actually a sergeant major. I just like saying that. So when I see people that have served, I call him Sergeant Major. I think he's much higher rank than that. But
awesome.
Good morning, Bill.
Thank you for tuning in. So yeah, I got to see my sister Kay yesterday, and then my baby girl Evie and Lai, and it's Lai, my son-in-law's family's side. So we went to go support Lima. We love Lima, but also my son-in-law. So it was very nice to see everybody. Sad occasion, but it was really good. And so then we were home by the afternoon and hung out and chilled and watched the Olympics all for the rest of the day. We watched the Olympics for the rest of the day. So it was good. Just work, chilled out, nothing major. Hung out with my sunga. And so that was it.
That's a lot.
It is a lot. Yesterday, I was on Facebook, of course, because that's where all the real news is. And I seen that Patsy's birthday, everybody celebrated Patsy's birthday. We were going to go, but it was just, we had just gone to the city and come back. And then I just didn't want to. I was lazy.
And another 2 hours on the road.
Yeah, another 2 hours on the road. And the place was packed. So I was like, I'm a little cautious about where I go. And so, because of the numbers, they're going back up. I'm in my mask all the time. Right. So I couldn't breathe, and so I'm like, I'm tired of wearing my mask, but I wear it to protect myself. So yeah, that was my week. How about you?
Let's see. So I didn't have any birthdays. I got to see through the magic of Facebook.
Yeah.
I got to see Evie's birthday happen all week, and I got to see the.
Damn, I didn't see anything. Oh,
no, it was just with your kids were getting together, and I always talk about the admiration I have for your family, of how close and how everybody gets together for events.
Yeah,
I think that's really awesome. Yesterday, I have made it, I think it's 6 weekends in a row, Saturdays in a row, I've hung out with an elder.
Oh, nice.
And so I was going to go hang out with Tama, and then he had a church thing come up in Stockton, which he's working hard with that church. So I ended up heading down to San Jose to see Uncle Teeny, and I got to hang out with him, give him a apple dump cake, and then he was actually, I think he was headed to...
Oh, he can't have sweets.
What's that?
You in trouble.
No, I give it to Jen. I give it to Jen and Augie. Hey, if he manages to get a piece of that, that's not on me. I just dropped it off at the door. So I got to see Jen. Got a hug from Jen.
Nice.
Augie was headed out to spend time with a different family member, so I missed Augie.
Nice.
We are replanning, and we'll probably end up hooking up this coming weekend. And yeah, so there was that. What else? A whole bunch of... So Nicole has been diagnosed with breast cancer, my wife, and she's going through a lot of the discovery phase that you and I have gone through. When you first get the news, you go through the, I don't know. I went from the range of, I don't have it, they must be wrong, to, wow, I may die tomorrow. And then the highs and lows end up leveling out after a while. So she's going through that. She went to Monterey for Wednesday to Saturday. So she was gone the whole back half of the week, and I got a ton of work done because that's one of my faults, I would say, is if I don't have anything to do with my family, then I end up working a lot. So I got a ton of work done in that time, and we managed to keep the house somewhat clean. I don't know. I think the review when she came back wasn't bad, so that was a good thing.
Keep the house clean, damn it.
Watched a lot of the Olympics, watched some of the UFC last night, and yeah, that's about it. My week was not as eventful as yours.
Nice, very nice. Yeah, I'm gonna go stalk my kids' page for pictures because Mena and Lay sent me some group pictures of them together. So then I kept those, but I'm not really on my personal page that much. I'm usually on PBD, and so, you know, if I get on my personal page, I just real quick. If it's not on my news feed, right, you know, like the top of my news feed, then I don't know what's going on. So I usually have to stalk people. But yeah, so that was, I'm glad Nicole got to get away, and she loves Monterey. So that's awesome. I don't think, what else happened this week? The Olympics.
A lot of the Olympics.
Seems
like some of the events that I'm more interested in are happening now. I don't know if that's just because I've found time to watch.
Yeah.
Or if there's actually just the ones that I'm interested in now. But there's a lot of the things now where I'm looking at it going, ooh, I want to see that. I want to see this.
I know. Anini, who was a guest on FICA, what did she rank, or placed 8th place in weightlifting?
8th in the snatch.
Yeah.
That's her event. And I don't know if she PR'd or not. I know that was in our interview with her the 10 days before she went. Mm-hmm. It was really because of her weight. She competes against competitors in her division because she's in the heavyweight division that weigh, 100 pounds more than her.
Oh, crazy.
So there was, I think there was a lot of a feeling with her team that, hey, let's go in and let's PR. And I don't know.
What's PR?
Personal record.
Oh, okay.
So let's do our best and let the chips fall where they may. So I don't know if she got a PR in that event, but I know she was 8th in the world.
In the world.
Who can say that?
Like nobody.
Right. I'm the 8th best at this event. Not a team event.
Yeah.
I'm not the 8th best rugby team.
Yeah.
I am the 8th best individual weightlifter in the world.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So congratulations to her. This was her first time at the Olympics. I'm sure it won't be her last.
Right.
And we proud of her. Last night, me and Mo stayed up late. I set an alarm so that I wouldn't crash out because at 9:30, the USA women's volleyball team came on, and we love volleyball.
Is that hard court or beach?
Hard court. So they played against Brazil, which Brazil usually, I think they usually place, and the last couple of years they were like bronze and gold, and
but the Brazil the women's and men's team are always elite.
Yeah, well, not this year. This year the USA women's team won. They took the first 3 games and call it a day. It was a really good game, like intense and stuff, so I really enjoyed watching it. I think just because my Lay plays volleyball, and Kyle and Alex and Tyler, my girls, play volleyball, so I was like very interested in the game.
Was Lay watching?
No, Lay was she was at her cousin's house because it was her birthday. Lots of birthdays. We have a lot of August birthdays, so yes, Lena said beach volleyball. The women took first place. I mean, gold too. So it was a good week for USA. So I love watching volleyball. So not that I play, but because my girls play, it was really good.
A lot of August babies. I think that
lots of August babies.
Lots of people having a lot of fun the holiday time around Christmas.
Yeah. So a lot of my kids and my nieces and nephews hang out like August because of everybody's birthday. Yeah, like my daughter is the 5th, Kaya's the 6th, Alex is the 3rd. Just Molly is the 1st. I mean, it's crazy. So So I love that the volleyball team took it. It was so good. Their coach, who had cancer, I think he had, I don't know what kind of cancer he had, prostate. He had prostate cancer and stage 4, and he never said anything to his team because he didn't want them to worry.
He didn't want it to be about him.
He didn't want it to be about him. And I could be wrong about the stage. But he is in full recovery, and he didn't say anything until after he was back, in recovery. So he celebrated. I thought it was kind of weird, though, because the Olympics only, like in the Super Bowl and the World Series, everybody, the organization, the team, everybody that works for the Giants, right? For example, when they win the World Series, everybody gets a ring. The announcers get a ring. The people in the office,
scouts and AA.
Everybody gets a ring. And so I was like, oh, wow. When the coach was talking last night for the U.S. volleyball team, I was like, oh, Mo, that's so nice. He gets a ring. And Mo goes, no, the coaches don't get a medal.
Only the athletes.
Only the athletes. The Olympics is all about the athletes. I was like, wow. I don't know. I guess because I'm used to the Super Bowl and the World Series, that everybody who had a part of them getting to where they were getting to where they gets a trophy or whatever. Right. And so, and I get it. The Olympics, it's an individual, I don't know. It is about the athletes, but what about the people that got them there, that helped get them there? So I thought it was kind of weird.
Because it's, at first I thought, when you were talking about it, I was thinking, well, it's an amateur, it's amateur sports.
That's true.
But when
men's basketball, those are all professional players.
Well, they're professional players, but the organization is amateur.
Yeah.
But the amateur. So if the University of Berkeley wins the national championship, the men's national championship, I'm pretty sure the coaching staff gets rings too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there are other
weird.
amateur organizations that I think, I could be wrong.
Yeah.
So maybe in NCAA they don't either, but I'm pretty sure the assistant coaches of a football team and the coaches, I know for sure the coaches, because I've seen Nick Saban with rings on his hand. So
definitely.
Maybe it's just an Olympic thing.
It probably is just an Olympic thing, but I thought hey man, why not recognize the coaches and let but that's just me. I thought there's so many people that helped them get there, and I get it, their parents, you know what I mean, their teachers or whatever, but I thought at least the coaches. So that was really good to watch. I enjoyed it. Lots of spikes, and I mean, like, they're power hitting, and it looks like they're hitting it like 100 miles an hour, and people are actually setting it back. So it was a really good game. So I love that. I was texting my leg going, we were texting each other back and forth. I'm like, the game is on. She's like, I know.
I like especially the Olympics. And that's one of the reasons that sometimes I like amateur sports better. So if you watch the NFL playoffs, those guys are into it.
Yeah.
Like, those guys are full on 100%.
Right.
The regular season, like baseball, there's 162 baseball games. Like, they get up for it, but it's different. You go to a college game, a college football game, man, those kids are all in.
Yeah.
And so are their fans. Their fans are just, chanting in unison.
Yeah.
And, you just see that. In the Olympics, it's like the next level. Athletes break down so often. You see so many tears at the Olympics because they're so emotionally invested in it.
And it took them years to train, because there's it's every 4 years.
It's the culmination of years and years of injury and COVID and coaches don't get along, and one leaves, and like, there's all those things behind the scenes that we don't see.
Right.
And then the culmination of that is that one person. That's the pinnacle of it. That one person, the Carissa Moore, for example, we'll talk about her in a second, crying when she came out of the water. She's so happy to have that happen. And I think that's a lot of the Olympic moment is just how emotional the athletes get on the podium, listening to their national anthem.
Right.
Those are things that you see in professional sports, but it's like at the Super Bowl maybe, or in the playoffs, but you don't see that week 2 of the NFL season, or game 51 in a 162 game season, but you see it at the Olympics.
I miss watching football, like high school football or college football. We used to go to a lot when my kids are younger.
Different experience being there, right?
A different experience when you're there. And so I'm looking forward to Brother George, his grandson is playing football. And so he's like, we have football this year. So I'm like so excited to go watch Isaac play football. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Good morning to Nellie, who's checking in on Facebook. Thanks,
Good
Nell.
morning,
Good
Nell.
morning. She said, good morning, Nat, Kololo, and Menners. Nainoa's here. Nainoa's here. So, yeah, I'm really enjoying the Olympics this year. So, I don't know why this year more than 4 years ago. You know what I mean? I think I'm more into it because of Nini and a lot of PI Pacific Islanders that are playing, and that I'm actually conscious of the PI. You know what I mean? I'm more conscious of the Pacific Islander athletes now. So I think that's why.
I think there's some viewership too because of COVID. It's like we're looking for something like,
that's
oh,
true.
is the Olympics
That's
on? Like,
true.
let me put that on and try to not forget about normal life, but let me get involved and cheer and be happy for people. But yeah, having somebody who actually spoke to and interviewed and know their story, those obviously get you involved. And I think that's why Pacific Islanders are so interested in Pacific Islanders.
Yeah.
When they're playing a sport or they're on TV, it's just a familiarization.
Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome. And then also, I went to lunch this week with my sister, Titi, and we were watching a softball game, University of Oklahoma. And I think they took the World Series or the whatever college thing that is.
Women's
College softball.
World
Yes.
Series.
And there's a Joycelyn Alo who was playing, like, she is the athlete of the year, you know what I mean? So I think she's a senior, I'm not sure, but she's a Pacific Islander girl that is playing softball in Oklahoma. So it was awesome. It just happened to be up, and I was like, oh my God, look! So we stayed and watched that game, and it was really good. I was like, damn, we're everywhere now. That's awesome.
That poor girl is now the most likely to be stalked by Naki on social media.
Yes, I'm gonna stalk her. Joycelyn Aloha Pumehana Alo. So yeah, I'll be stalking her this week, actually. I already started, but there you go. But
already in progress.
I thought it was awesome because we were just I forgot where we were at, wherever we're having lunch, and the game was on, and I was like, oh, softball is on, women's softball, college. And then she came up to bat, and I seen her name, Jocelyn Alo, and I was like, she's a PI. And then
you know what that is? That is an example of what we talked about early on with PBD, where Leigh was playing volleyball.
Yeah.
And the two girls that were walking by stopped to cheer. It's like on a bigger scale.
Right.
It's you and Titi watching TV and she's Alo. Mm-hmm. She must be PI. Yeah. Let's watch and cheer.
Yes. I think that's one of the things that I love about our culture is that it's just like Troy Polamalu, who we'll be talking about in a little bit, but all his accolades and everything that he wins and things that he does on the field, we're like so proud just because we're Pacific Islanders. We see him, so he's very humble, and so not that we are, but we're excited for him, all his success. So
those are the things, though, right? So like, I'm not a Niner fan at all.
Yeah,
I'm a Jesse Sopolu fan.
Right.
So I would root for Jesse, and I would watch his, like, the play would go.
Yeah.
And I would watch him, I don't know, Montana throws the ball or whatever.
Right.
I was looking at Jesse and, seeing how he was doing.
Yeah.
Half the time, I wasn't even following really the play.
Right.
I was more watching, Jesse or Al Noga or, whoever the PI was that was playing.
Right.
A lot of times I'm just doing that.
Right.
And I think that's why there's just universal acceptance for PIs for PIs.
Mm-hmm.
Well, are you shining? You're like one of the best, whatever.
Right.
I'm interested.
Right.
I'm interested to see how you succeed.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome too when we see our, faces that look like us on TV or in education or wherever, which is what we always talk about. But yeah, it was awesome to see more PIs are starting to pop up and making it normal for brown faces to be everywhere. So I love that. I also love, like you said, whenever we see a PI, even though we don't know them, we're like, yeah, go. So
my brother and I were in a sports bar way back, I don't know, 90s. And same thing. We were at the sports bar just hanging out. And there was I can't remember her first name, but her last name was Talanoa. And we were watching the screen. And then by the end of the game, kind of because there's alcohol involved too, you would have thought we were University of Arizona fans. Like, we were booing, we were cheering, and there were, the rest of our friends show up, and they're like, "Oh, is that your niece, or who's that?" We don't know.
No, we don't know.
We don't know who she is.
PI. Yeah, so I love that. Our culture does that, no matter who, So, yeah. How was your week?
That was my week.
That was your week. Awesome. So we're going to go to a break, Nainoa. We're going to play a song.
When we come back, we're going to talk about a little bit more about Troy Polamalu and an accomplishment that he had this week. We're going to talk about Duke Kahanamoku and Carissa Moore in surfing, a little bit more about the Olympics, and then we're going to talk about our community programs when we return.
Mm-hmm. We have Cry For You by Kenyon.
By Kenyon Brown.
There you go.
Have you ever seen a star fall down from the skylines? Yeah, that's exactly what happened when you fell on the timeline. Yeah. So I thank the heavens above for giving this blessing to us. Oh, what a blessing it was. These days get shorter each day. That's why you don't waste, no. That's why you don't wait another moment, 'cause time's never frozen. And now I'm too late to say, my brother, oh yeah, I love you, yeah. And my sister, ooh, I miss you, yeah. My brother, ooh, I love you, and my sister, yeah, I miss you, so I cry for you. 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 Yeah, it's been a week and it still feels heavy. And I still got the letter that you lent me. So I'll go ahead and roll this blunt before I fire it up. I know, oh, that you still here, right, smoking it with me. I gaze up at the night sky and I think of you. Shed a tear for you, then I blink. I still hear your voice and it sings. You just wanna fight. Oh yeah, and they both shed tears and they happy. And I know you hear us when we sing. My brother, I love you. My sister, I miss you. My brother, I love you. My sister, I miss you. I cry for 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 you.
Talofa, Hafaday, Malolele, Bulavanaka, Yakwe, and Aloha. Our Pasifika people have always enjoyed spending time with friends, family, and food. During this pandemic, it's going to take the entire village to make a change. If you and your Ohana are ready for summertime, get vaccinated. In clinical trials, COVID vaccines prevented nearly 100% of hospitalizations and deaths. For more information on where you can get vaccinated, go to PacificIslanderHealth.org.
And we're back. You're listening to the Faika Broadcast. I'm Naki. With me, as always, is Carl.
Good morning. Good morning.
And we have Nainoa and Mena and our producers. That was an ad from
the Pacific Islander COVID Response 19 team in Southern California.
Nice. That was Q. That sounded like Q. Q sounded like he got a cold, so I hope he feels better. Hey, Q. So there you go. This week on Monday, we had Koviki Talk with Utopia PDX and OPIC. And so Oregon Pacific Islander Coalition, they talked about vaccination. They're having an event, or they had an event on Saturday, Pacifica Unity Festival, and they had vaccination, they had food, they had music and dancing. So it was a really good conversation we had with Kolini, Dr. Jacinta Ngaleai, Kumule, and Sandy Wells. And so they talked about the events that is happening there. I seen a lot of pictures, a lot of dancing and singing. I did see Kolini in his getup.
Did you see the outfit?
Yes, I seen his outfit. Absolutely wonderful. So I'm still waiting for somebody to send me a picture. Malo.
You should. Everybody should go check that show out.
Yes.
It is a show that we had technical difficulty with, and Naki ran the entire show all by herself.
Yeah, not by myself. Carl was texting me. I'm like, help. So, yeah, that was Monday. So go check that out. It's on our YouTube page, and it's also right here on our Facebook page. So go ahead and scroll up, and you'll check out that interview. It was a really good conversation that we had with them. So I love that interview. Go check it out. And then Thursday we had Pacifica Parents. It's a series that we're doing this month, the month of August.
We had the skinny people on.
We had the skinny people on. Devin and Tino Elisara came on and spoke about being parents during the pandemic and how they feel about their kids going back to in-person schooling, and how the year and a half of being home with the babies, how that went, and how they're going to treat vaccination, how the kids are going to go back to school wearing masks and I think Devin said they're not social distancing,
right?
But they will. They're supposed to wear their masks, and so
I think the difference with the mask discussion now is it's a KN95 mask,
right?
Originally, with the original iteration of COVID-19, it was a face covering, really.
Yeah.
So it was a gaiter, it was a mask, it was a bandana, your shirt pulled up over your face if you went into a store accidentally. And with the Delta variant, it's much more transmissible, so you need to get a KN95 mask.
Right.
Or double mask. But those are, that's really the difference. And I think that was on particularly Devin's mind when she talked about the kids going back and not social distancing, and then the quality of the mask.
Yeah,
so it's really good.
It's really good, and she talks about how the littles are not used to wearing their masks because they're it's not part of their lifestyle. Or it is part of their lifestyle.
They don't know any better.
Yeah, they don't know any better.
Wear it because I guess that's what we do.
That's all they know.
Because I go to school.
That's all they know.
And I wear it.
And then the older kids, the bigs, they're used to going to school with no mask, and so they're having a little harder time keeping it on. You know what I mean? And I get that because that's like us. We weren't used to wearing masks, and we've gotten accustomed to wearing the mask, where the little ones, that's all they know. Oh, wear a mask? That's normal to them.
Right.
So it's a good interview. Go check out Koviki Talk, Pacifica Parent Series that we are starting this month. And we had Tino and Devin Elisara who spoke about their experience during the pandemic, vaccination,
about
everything.
Their health health. They talked about their weight loss, and it's not just a weight loss; it's a healthy lifestyle
that
they've adopted. And I like the way that Tino had talked about it on a different show. He had talked about that the weight loss is all just a byproduct of them changing the way that they live. Like the weight loss just comes with it. That's not really the focus. The focus is living healthy. And then the weight came off. So.
Yeah, he lost like a grip of weight. I'd say 80 or 90 pounds, and it's interesting now because now that he's lost all that weight, now he's hiking, going on long hikes. He's doing all kinds of activities. So it's good to see them both getting healthier for their kids. They're setting a great example. So yeah. Tomorrow we have Mana Pacifica. They are on at 5 p.m. and we'll be with them. Ruta is coming on. And she is, she's a doula, and she's been doing that for a while now. They'll come on and talk about that. And then she's coming on with a guest, or her guest. And then I think that's it.
That's going to be a good discussion.
Yes.
She always has, every time we talk to her, there's new things.
Right.
There's new things that we learn. And you always learn when you're talking to somebody, but specifically with Ruta, she is really, I don't know, she's so well-rounded with her knowledge. Like she's well-educated to a lot of different things.
Yeah, so her and Fatima bin Bilal is coming on tomorrow at 5 p.m. So tune in tomorrow at 5 right here or on our Pacifica by Design YouTube page.
I think I'll even participate this Monday.
Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, that would be nice if you could do that. That would be nice. So Troy Polamalu.
Oh, you want to talk about the Steelers?
Yeah. Well, no, I want to talk about him. I'm getting inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame. How about that?
Yeah, that was, there were a couple that got inducted into the Hall of Fame. Donnie Shell from the 70s Steelers and Troy Polamalu.
Oh, wow. I only knew Troy Polamalu because he was everywhere. We knew that beforehand anyway. Because
everybody knew he was going to be.
Everybody knew that.
A first ballot Hall of Famer.
Right.
I think obviously from the Steelers standpoint, the Steelers fans knew like year 5.
Yeah,
that's a Hall of Famer.
That's it.
Like unless he gets hurt and doesn't play, a full career, that's a Hall of Famer. Troy is one of those people that are just. They don't want any of the spotlight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he just wants to do the work.
Yes,
he just wants to do the work. And if you talk to him, I remember one time in the playoffs when they were facing Peyton Manning and the Colts, and the Colts were favored. They're in Indianapolis. It was late in the game, and Troy intercepted the ball, would have ended the game, right? And he catches it and runs a step or two and then falls down. Rolls over with the ball and then gets up to run with it and knees it out of his hand and then just dives on it and stops. And they ended up ruling that a fumble or an incomplete pass. They said that he didn't have he caught it, ran with it, fell, roll over, went to get up, and so they ended up ruling an incomplete pass and the Colts kept the ball. Steelers fans were, livid. They end up winning the game, but that the talk at the end of the game was, how was that not an interception? That's the craziest thing ever. And they first they showed Troy on the sidelines, and when they were doing the review, he was on the sidelines with his helmet on, and like he wasn't even looking at the scene up at the screen. He was just on the sidelines right next to the field and ready to go back on the field. They ruled it an incomplete pass, and he was the first player back on the field to play defense. Like he didn't get caught up in it. And they asked him after, were you upset at the call? And he said, I don't get paid to make those calls. I get paid to make plays. That's the referee's call or whoever is doing the review. So I just figured, if they rule it's not an interception, I'm going to have to go back out there and do my job. And that was just the level-headed mentality that he played with. Like you didn't see him lose it or, I don't know, just act the fool or any of that kind of. He was just level-headed his whole career. So I think the Steelers, in particular, the Steeler organization, that was more of a, that's going to happen.
Nellie said, yes, Kalolo, just talk about Troy. No disrespect to the team. It's about Troy. We are talking about Troy. We are talking about Troy.
I liked seeing Troy from the standpoint that you don't see, like, now Juju's a receiver, right? There's more linebacker positions coming out. It's not just the big Pacific Islander on the line.
Right.
That, you know what I mean? Like, you're starting to see them, and to see him not only just play safety, but dominate at that position at a Hall of Fame level.
Yeah.
It was fun his whole career, and the hair was just an added thing that you never had to really look for the number. You just looked for the hair, and you knew where he was.
Yeah, it was awesome. Steelers is not my team, but I do like, Troy. I liked watching him.
Right.
Juju. I especially love Juju because he took the time to let me interview him. He was like, "Okay, Auntie."
Ahead of everybody else.
"Okay, Auntie." Okay, so he's my favorite so far. So there you go.
Yeah. So that was a big thing. And I think the Pacific Islanders, you know what I mean? Like, especially the Samoan community, were
very proud. Everybody was like, it was on my news feed like crazy yesterday. So what I have, and I could be wrong because 2-time Super Bowl champion, 8-time Pro Bowl, 5-time All-Pro selection, AP NFL Defensive Player of the Year, named to NFL 2000 All-Decade Team, and selected to the Steelers All-Time Team. So congratulations to him.
And for sometimes All-Pro, the difference between All-Pro and Pro Bowl, people are kind of like, what is the difference between being an All-Pro and a Pro Bowler? A Pro Bowler means you made the Pro Bowl. An All-Pro means you were the best at your position. So you could have 6 running backs make the Pro Bowl. If you're All-Pro, they're saying that you were the best at that position. Mm-hmm. So 5 times he was considered the best safety in the league.
So, yeah, that's awesome. I'm super proud of him. I don't know him just because he's a PI.
And he's still doing things that people don't hear of.
Right.
He's taking equipment and having camps and doing things in Samoa that he doesn't want cameras in.
He doesn't
he just wants to go, help.
Yeah.
And, that's just so him. That's just him.
That's
he's doing things because it's the right thing to do, and he doesn't care if the spotlight's there or not.
Yeah. Yeah, he's very humble. So I think that adds to everybody loving not only him as a player, but as a human being. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So awesome. Congratulations to him.
There's a funny story on YouTube, and it has to do with a kicker. He now has his own YouTube show, Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee was a kicker for the Colts, and it's a great story on YouTube. Go look it up. They have a fake play, a fake field goal kick, and it's supposed to be a perfect play. If the Steelers or the defense lines up a certain way, it's a no doubter, 100% touchdown. The holder is simply going to stand up and throw it, I think. But anyway, it's no doubt, it's 100%. And against the Steelers, they line up that way. And Pat McAfee is from Pittsburgh. So he said, there's a whole bunch of Pat McAfee fans in the stadium because I'm local to there. Even though I'm playing for the Steelers, I grew up playing high school there. Mm-hmm. So there's a whole bunch of my friends and family there. And he's all excited because he's going to score a touchdown. And in front of, all of his family and friends. And he said, as they're getting set, Troy moves from one spot to another spot where he's not supposed to be. And Pat McAfee is looking at it going, why is he there? There's no reason for him to be there. That doesn't make any sense. And he said there was no way to audible out of it. So he ends up calling timeout. And the coach is asking him, dude, why are you doing that? And he's like, Troy lined up in the gap. Like, he's not even supposed to be there. Years later, Pat McAfee has Troy Polamalu on his show, and he's told this story so many times, millions of people have heard it. And he asked Troy, he goes, so tell me about that play where you messed up my life, you messed up my moment of glory where I was going to have a touchdown. Kickers don't get touchdowns. And Troy said that he didn't do it to stop a play. What he did was he just wanted it for film day. He wanted the people that review the film to call it out that he's lined up wrong. So he went over and lined up in the exact spot that was going to stop a touchdown, and his kicker didn't get his moment of glory. He tells it in just a funny way where he's like, I can't understand what Troy's doing there. It doesn't make any sense. And then go back to Troy, and he was just like, nah, I was just doing it for film day. I didn't, no particular reason. So that's the Pat McAfee Show. Go check it out.
Awesome. So real quick, we forgot to do Essence of Mana is offering free classes via Zoom. They're reaching out to our PI community, and it doesn't matter where you live. They just have to be willing to commit to the course, which is 12 weeks. For more information or to register, you can hit up Lulu Masina at 415-243-6328 or El Masina at healthright360.org. They also have Talanoa Tuesday, which is every Tuesday at 7 p.m., hosted by Nani Wilson and Lulu Masina. Guest this week was Dr. Fafisai Fa'aleava, psychologist at Mule Creek State Prison. Also a newlywed. How about that?
To our very own.
PVD's
Leah.
Yes. Leah Poasa Fa'aleava. I'm not sure if she's changed that name yet, but good morning. So that's every Tuesday. I'm sorry. It was a good interview with Dr. Fa'aleava. And so if you've missed it, go to Essence of Mana's Facebook page, and they leave it up. And that's the good thing about going live on Facebook or podcast is that you can listen and watch it anytime you want. So go check them out.
Just scroll down.
Go scroll down and you'll see. So there you go.
Let's see. Back to the Olympics.
Yes.
Duke Kahanamoku. Everybody's heard of Duke Kahanamoku. If you've been to Waikiki, he has a statue down by the lifeguard station.
Oh, yeah.
It was close to the hotel
where
that
we
we
were
stayed at,
yeah.
but back towards the middle of the strip a little bit. Some Hawaiians will say that it is politically incorrect or culturally incorrect because Duke has his back to the ocean. That's one of the rules in Hawaii. It is disrespectful to turn your back to the ocean. And that's why you see a lot of tourists get flipped head over heels because they pose for pictures in front of the waves and they get rolled by the waves, and all the locals laugh and scream and howl and laughter because you're not supposed to turn your back. Actually, they'll actually have some kids will get out of the ocean and walk backwards until they get out of reach of the ocean and then turn around. So that is it's a thing in Hawaii. And Duke,
I did not know that.
Kahanamoku's statue stands with his back to the ocean. He's probably 50 yards away from the water, but that is a point of contention with some of the Hawaiians. So Duke Kahanamoku was an Olympic swimmer in 1912, I think, 1916. So he was also, people call him the godfather of surfing because he was surfing's biggest advocate. And had they had an Olympic surfing event, there's no doubt in my mind that Duke Kahanamoku would have won the gold. But on that note, he continued to champion putting surfing as an Olympic event. They finally added it this year.
Oh, nice.
And wouldn't you know,
very nice.
The first female gold medal surfing winner is Carissa Moore from Hawaii.
Awesome.
So it was touching to see her and her coaches. Her coaches carried her out of the water. She was, again, having a tearful moment. In interviews, they talked to her about, what it meant, and she talked all about, coming from Hawaii. It is part of the culture there. She's representing, again, the community and the people, and just it was very PI interview. And so sometimes, the Olympics come along every 4 years. So you'll have these people that are the very best in their sport in the world for 3 years. But you might come in those 3 years between the Olympics. You know what I mean? Yeah. So she's a 4-time world champion, but she hadn't won an Olympic medal because there was no Olympics. So kind of with that, if you add the sport in 2020, and you have somebody who's been an Olympic champion, a world champion, the best in the world for 6 or 7 years, but then they're a little bit older by the time the Olympics get there, they may never win that Olympic medal. Yeah. So the surfing world was kind of on that thing of, let's make sure, we just hope she surfs the way that she can and wins the gold medal, because it would be a shame to be the best in the world for so long and just because of the absence of an Olympics, not have an Olympic gold medal.
Yeah.
She slammed the door on that. I don't know how far her score was above the silver medalist, but she got it done. Takes that gold medal back.
Yeah.
She was honored by Governor Dan Ige earlier this week for her accomplishments, and it's fitting that Duke had asked for it over 100 years ago, and the first one is a Hawaiian to win the gold medal.
That's awesome. And congratulations to her. I did see that. I seen the event on late night TV, but it's awesome to see again another Pacific Islander, Native Hawaiian Pacific Islander, winning at a sport that is connected to created by Pacific Islanders. So there you go. That's awesome. Congratulations to Carissa. And yeah, the governor honored her this week. So I wonder if all the governors of people's state or whatever, when they go back, if their governor or their city honors them or gives them a parade.
I think it depends on. So the I was going to show something. I can't show it, but when you look at the medals, and I don't have it in front of me, but New Zealand is ranked like second or third in medals per capita. So based on your population, New Zealand and Fiji are both ranked extremely high. So it means more, right? Mm-hmm. It means more when you have less people. And you look at Hawaii, it's probably 1 million people, maybe a little over 1 million people. That's a big thing for, somebody of Hawaiian ethnicity and from Hawaii. They're going to get a big response. But I can't... Here it is. Olympic medals per capita. Total medals per capita, New Zealand is fourth. So this is total medals per capita. New Zealand is fourth with 19. Fiji is seventh with 2. That's medals per capita.
Nice.
Gold medals per capita, New Zealand is third and Fiji is fourth.
Nice.
So those are Pacifica nations. When you account for population, they're ranked third and fourth. And Fiji just killing it with the sevens. I mean, that was men's and women's on both sides. But gold medals per capita, third and fourth.
What does that mean?
So it's per person. So if you have, China has a couple billion people there, right? You got to win a whole bunch of medals to be high per capita. What we're saying is if we average things out for population, then you have Bermuda, number 1. They've got 1 medal. Bahamas, number 2. They got 1 medal. And then New Zealand is third. They have 7 gold medals.
So cool.
Basically, it means lai titiai maini. They're small but mighty.
Awesome. I was like, per capita, what the?
Per capita.
Break it down.
Per population.
Break it down. Oh, awesome. Cool. Very cool. Yeah, I'm enjoying the Olympics. So there you go. What else do we have?
We have a possible, Naopo doing big things, setting up meetings in Washington, D.C.
Mm-hmm. That's happening at the end of the month. Congratulations to the quickly growing and reaching Naopo organization. Yes. We had our PI Media Council this week, which I kind of came in late because I took a nap.
Well, that was one of the things that I had asked at the beginning, is that we take care of ourselves and practice self-care.
Yeah. So, that was a really good meeting. And we have a really good group of people. I think Shanti, who is Kosarayan in Hawaii, she's part of our group too, but she is a little busy.
Studying for the bar.
She's studying for the bar. So
little exam coming up.
Just a little, just a little. We can't bother her with that, but... Yeah, I think that was our week. I don't have anything else. We're doing Koviki Talk tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific time. So tune into the Facebook page or our YouTube page. Wednesday, we are on Island City Media. So you have to download the Dash Radio app. Search Island City. We're on Wednesday at 10 a.m. Thursday, we're back on with Koviki Talk, Pacifica Parents, show number 2. And then back here next Sunday at 10 a.m. So, have a good week. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. We will, see you tomorrow. Come back to FICA with us.
Love y'all.
Yeah.